Hello and welcome back to my channel. So, what do I tell you about today? Well, one of the recent patches introduced the ability to modify the combat ability of a unit. So what does this mean? It is quite cryptic and you don't really get what it does by this menu, but you can basically change the combat ability of a unit. So if it is attacking like a siege unit, like a normal unit, and why should you care about that? What does it change? Well, if you change the combat ability to 8, which is the ability of a siege unit, I will show you the other abilities right on screen right now. But you actually get with 8 the ability to attack ground. So you can have any unit get the attack ground ability. And now with this, I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool to be able to have like an activated ability arrow salvo, and that's what I implemented here. So you basically need 3 triggers for this. The first one just modifies the stats of the Cav archers. Well, you can't really tell it, but over here there's some Cav archers hiding, and those I use with modifying their stats. I set their range to high enough so they can shoot wherever I want. The combat ability to 8, as I already mentioned. I divide the accuracy by 100, and here the modify attribute attack currently doesn't really work, so that's a little bit unfortunate, but since when an arrow doesn't hit its main target, and that will be quite likely with the accuracy percent divided by 100, then the secondary hit target will not receive a lot of damage, so I increased the base damage to set that off. But what happens next? Well, we got the arrows stop effect here. This is looped but off at the start. It has a timer in here, 5 seconds, and this does replace all objects, so all berserks in this area with heavy Cav archers. You will see why, well, soon. Then it will activate both trigger left start and trigger right start. I have left and right here because I want to shoot at the left and at the right area, so basically you would only need one of those if you would only want to do it for one area. And then it deactivates itself. So now let's see about arrows left start. Again, there's a timer in here, and if there is a object in here, a flare, which is when you ping it spawns a flare, and it's important here to set the object state to resource, otherwise it will not recognize the flares. And if player 1 has 200 gold, so every time you let the arrows fly it costs 200 gold, it will replace all of the objects in this area, so all of the berserks in this area, with heavy Cav archers. So as you saw in the stop effect, it will replace the Cav archers with berserks, and here will replace the berserks with Cav archers. So they are only Cav archers when they are supposed to attack, and when they are not supposed to attack anymore, they transform to berserks. So I chose berserks because, well, they're a melee unit and they won't shoot anything in range. Then I used the task object effect here, attack ground. It works because I gave the attack ability number 8, so siege unit type, and that means we can use the action type attack ground on the task object effect. Now we activate arrow stop, so the arrow salvo actually stops at some point. It is 5 seconds, as this is the timer of 5 on stop. We also have the tribute, so we first checked, does player 1 have 200 gold, and if yes, player 1 sends 200 gold to Gaia, so basically they're gone. And now it's finally time to deactivate the arrows left start trigger again, so it doesn't run through. And we also remove the flare from this area, so it doesn't accidentally re-trigger the whole thing, because the flare will stay for a few seconds automatically. Okay, the right is basically the same, only on this area. And I included it got a little bit out of hand here, and I made a little bit of extra stuff to make this a fully playable scenario. I think it's quite a small one, but I think it's nice to have some small things here and there. And yeah, I'll show you how the trigger works. So here we go. See those 2 areas where we can send arrows. We'll just wait. Let's just test this right away. Ping here. See, nice spread because the accuracy is actually garbage. I lost some gold in the process. And there we go. Now let's speed this up a little bit until the enemy attacks. There we go. just wait until they're actually here, and then in the right moment you will let their arrows loose. And 2 against infantry actually works a lot better because they're not so tanky. Let's do this again as long as they're here. So ideally you would have some troops guarding those choke points. So the enemy is here as long as possible, so you can use the arrows to the maximum effect, but yeah, I'm just demonstrating this here, so that is, in short, how you use the attack ability, and then utilize that to do some triggered arrow salvos. I hope you could take something from this, where you find your own way, your own trick to do with this. Yep, it has quite some potential, but it probably hasn't been completely figured out by me, so there's probably a lot of different ways you could approach this. Anyways, if you got any questions, as usual, leave them below, and I'll answer them when I can get to that. As you probably have noticed, I'm quite busy at the moment, so there's a lot of things going on, a lot of stuff to do, but yep, I thought I'd check back on you people here on the internet and do another tutorial. Maybe if this scenario gets into a wonderfully playable shape, I will also release this, well, we'll see. But until next time, this is Alkalim. I would like to thank you for watching and wish you a great day, happy creating, and see you next time. Bye bye.